Today in Granny's kitchen we're going to make Scottish tablet. And this is an ideal thing to serve on Burns night with your coffee after you've had your main meal. The ingredients: 1 bag of sugar, 1 tin of condensed milk, semi-skim milk and a little knob of butter. Now the little knob of butter really is just to keep your pot quite oiled at the bottom. You don't need very much butter at all. So when you put that in, everything gets cooked at a very, very low heat, and it does take quite a time to make. Don't speed up the process at all. Once you get this going, maybe just on a very low cooker, about 2, it takes a good half hour before it comes through the boil, and then once it reaches boiling point, you have to keep boiling it and then checking before you take it off the heat and beat it. So for the moment, we're just going to oil that little bit of butter in the bottom just to get the pan coated. And then we're going to get our sugar. So it's fairly straightforward, just ordinary granulated sugar. And the can of condensed milk. Obviously when you're serving this with coffee, it's a tiny square you have because obviously it's very high in calories. Then fill up your can of condensed milk with semi-skimmed milk. You can use full cream milk if you wish. It's just that we just happen to have semi-skimmed in the house. I don't think there's a vegan alternative. I haven't actually tried it. So you add your can of milk after you've added your condensed milk. And basically that's all there is to it at this stage. Just keep stirring that pot. You've got it on a very low temperature at 2, and all that sugar has to melt into the milk. And as I said, that takes a good half hour or so before it turns a nice golden brown and all the butter, milk and sugar has dissolved. I'm using a very large wooden spoon, and the reason for that is once you start beating the tablet towards the end, it gets lots of air into it using that great big spoon. All I'm going to do now is just leave that and keep checking it every 15 minutes or so and keep stirring it, and it will eventually start to bubble. At the moment it's 12:15, so it'll be interesting to see how long that takes before it comes through the boil. I'm using a large Scoville pot because it's non-stick, and most of my cookware is Scoville, which is really handy. You buy it in Asda and other shops. So we'll just leave that there till it comes through the boil. After 10 minutes you can see that it's beginning to dissolve, all the butter is gone. You can be doing so many other things while that's on the go. After half an hour, this is beginning to bubble slightly. So this is at the stage, quite a crucial stage. You do have to keep stirring every 5 or 10 minutes. So after half an hour, you can see it's just beginning to bubble very, very slightly. Okay, after an hour to an hour and a half, you'll notice the tablet's turning a nice golden brown colour. And it's really important at this stage, you just keep stirring. It'll soon be time to test it. If it begins to get a bit sugary round the sides, just scrape that sugar stuff in. It'll all dissolve because it's very, very hot. I'm going to get my tray ready, just an ordinary non-stick tray. I don't need to oil it because the tablet won't stick to it at all. And I'll also get a bowl of cold water ready. When I can see the consistency getting a little bit thicker than it is just now, I put a little drop of that into the bowl of cold water until it becomes a soft toffee lump. And at that stage, I take it off the heat and give it a good beating until it cools down and can be poured into the tray. Okay, I'm going to remove this from the heat now and start beating. And as I say, be very, very careful, because what you don't want is anything to splash up because it's absolutely boiling hot. So what I'm doing, I've put it on a dish towel because this glass hob is very slippery. And I'm just going to keep beating until it gradually cools down and you begin to see it really getting sort of sugary coating at the side there as it cools down. There's no shortcut for this other than bringing your family in to have a shot. You can change hands occasionally. And as it cools, it gradually thickens and is ready of a consistency to pour into the tray. Now after about 10 minutes, you'll see it's beginning to get a bit sugary around the side and the consistency is getting a little bit thicker. You can see a trail of the tablet. So I think another 5 minutes and this will be ready to pour out into the tray. Tip that up. It's on a tray Right, and it should just spread nicely over your tray. And then you can scrape some of the other bits. Make sure it fills in right to the corners. When that starts to cool, you can mark out the squares that you want ready to serve, but it really has to cool maybe for about an hour or so before you mark it out with a knife. Right, the tablet's been cooling now for about half an hour, so I'm just going to lightly mark and just half, and then I'll quarter it. It doesn't have to go all the way through as long as there's a marking where it can be broken up. It's entirely up to you how you want to break this up. This also helps it set with the cooling process. Okay.